Hello and welcome to class number 51 of Zentangle Untangled from Compliments of the Mechanical Library. I'm going to start with whatever shape today. I'm going to be a rebel and draw an egg shape. It's probably going to be, I can already tell, a very bad egg, or like a wonky egg. We'll call it a wonky egg. So just draw whatever shape you'd like. From any side or corner, I'm going to kind of draw a wavy line with a little swirl, kind of comes off on the side. So you just want to have some kind of a loopy design. And then at random, I'm going to put these little pockets. I'm basically going to draw like a thick spot on the original line that I drew. You can draw it however you'd like. You can have the whole thing be kind of make it look like a ribbon. You can just do pieces and pockets. You can kind of do little sections. A piece that goes off the edge here like that. However you want to set it up. I wouldn't do the whole thing, but you certainly could. Inside of these wider spots, I'm just going to draw some double sets of lines that are pretty close together, and then kind of draw some other lines going in the opposite direction inside of those double lines. You can decorate this section however you want. This one down here is pretty skinny, made a little too skinny, I think. So you can color it in. You could add color itself, colored pencils. You could do dots. You could add shadowing. You could decorate that however you wish. So you're just going to kind of fill up the entire section with these twisted ribbons, I guess you could call it, and just kind of, they can overlap, they can go through each other, however you want to do. So the next one I'll show you one that kind of overlaps and show you how you can make that work. So this one here I'm going to draw over the egg, or over the line, but across the egg. And now you don't have to worry about the sections where the line goes. I'm going to draw a wide spot right over that line where they intersect, and I'll show you how to do that. And then I'll do the same thing here. So you can see that the line goes through my section. And one more right there. So when you get to the part where your line goes through the section, you're just going to turn that into your double line, or part of your design, or whatever it is that you do in that area. So you don't even notice that it's there. So you certainly can have them. Of course, you could draw it with a pencil first and then erase the lines you don't need. You could certainly do that as well. In the second one, I'm going to draw another egg. Of course, you can do whatever shape you'd like. Hopefully this egg will turn out a little bit better. A little pointy, but that's all right. I'll take it. So this one I'm going to start out with, I'm sorry about the sun, it kind of is creating a glare right now. I'm going to start out with a circle anywhere. I'm not going to put it right in the center, but you certainly can. And then off of that, I'm going to draw some double lines that are pretty close together but don't touch each other. This part, if you don't want to do these lines to be white, you could certainly just use a thicker marker and color it in, or use one stripe of a thicker marker. You can make them really thick. You can have them be radiating lines where they start out skinny and get larger as they go away from the center point. however you want to do it. You just want to kind of make like a spider web type of look around the entire section that you have. So now starting in any of the sections, doesn't matter which one, I'm going to draw an arched line, and you want to make sure that it's arched. These center ones, I'm just going to use my regular pen because it's pretty skinny, and if I use the wider marker, it'll probably go over my sidelines. So it's an arched line. It should look like a loop. So if it kind of just looks like a straight circle, then you need to make your lines in between the sections a little bit more flower petal-y shaped, so they're more arched. You're going to go across, and they should line up kind of approximately with the one next to it. And then this last one here should line up both the one before and the original one you started with. So now, on the outside of each of the black lines or the colored in lines, I'm going to draw another one. So there's a white line there. So it's basically just an outline of that. So the original lines you drew should be a thicker black line, or if you're using color, it could be a thicker colored line. And then the outside line should just be a white section there. And of course you can change this however you want. So this is the basic pattern. You're going to work your way out. As I get further out, I'm going to switch over to the bigger marker, but you could do that now if you want. And you see how they're arched, and they should look loopy. So whatever spacing you use between this first row and the second row that we're drawing now, you want to kind of keep that consistent around the whole thing. So again, that's the basic pattern. You can fill these sections in between any way you want. Like this here, I'm just going to do some little points with my marker. If you're using a pen, sometimes it's hard to get dots, but you can fill it in however you want. You could have it each one of these be a different color for colored pencil or whatever whatever you use. You could draw lines through the sections. You could, I don't know, color it in completely. With something else, I'm not sure. So you could just leave it white like I'm going to for the sake of the video timing. So you could leave it white. You could do every other section with the pattern however you want. For our last design, I'm going to do a border. So I'm going to kind of do two different options here. So the first one, I'm just going to draw a line that goes, here, let's see, what should I do? I think I'll go this way. So I'm just going to go straight across here, and then I'm going to kind of taper it down because not everybody can draw a straight line. So this bottom one here, I'm going to make it mostly straight. So what I'm going to, you don't have to do this part, you can just have it be completely straight. The reason I'm showing you this is because like it starts out straight here and then it tapers at the top. So you're going to divide this into sections. You want your spacing to be approximately the same in this area. So if you have it, 3/4 of an inch, then go that same distance all the way. I mean, obviously you don't need a ruler, but get close, something like that. So now the key to making this design work is to have the spacing similar. So I'm going to start on the left, come up and stop. Whatever spacing I use there, I need to use all the way around. So you're basically going to do a square spiral in this section, and the spacing between your lines needs to stay the same. So you're just going to keep working your way in until you can't draw any more lines. So here I have my line ending right in the middle there. And I want to try and have that same ending point on all of these. I'm just going to keep doing the same pattern. Again, this is a spiral, so it doesn't touch anything around it. It's just a big long snake that kind of winds through here. And then I'm going to end with my point there. So you can see that the ending point is in the same area, and that uniformity is what gives it that Art Deco type of style to it. It's going to be like a geometric Greco type of thing. And you always want to try and end in the same place. So keep your spacing similar and try and end in the same space. And that's why you want to have your sections that you drew, these little squares or rectangles, you want them to be approximately the same size, otherwise the spacing will be off a little bit. And if it is, it's certainly not the end of the world, so don't worry too much. So now at the end here, these start to taper. This one here is about the same size, so the next ones will start to taper, and I'll show you the difference between how it looks with the tapered edge and these square ones. So they start to get skinnier, and when they start to get skinnier, it's going to change where your snake ends or your spiral ends. So let's see how I do on this one. And it certainly is okay if you have it wonky like this. Just be prepared, or be, I guess, understanding that it's not going to end. Well, that one did. It's not going to end all in the same spot, so it might lose a little bit of that uniformity, which is totally fine. Just letting you know that you want to try and keep it square if you can, and you can use this as a fill in a section too. Sometimes it's hard with these pointier ones here. Let's see. The reason the pattern changes is because obviously this is more tall than it is wide now, that the bottom ones are more wide than they are tall, or are more square, and then this one definitely, I don't even know how to do this one. So maybe kind of just draw a little line across. This is more of a triangular shape one here. So that's okay, but you can see the difference, how you have it straight and then it gets really skinny there. So I hope that you enjoyed these simple yet fun Easter-y type patterns today. Obviously you could try these on regular eggs. You could certainly get some markers and try some on those craft eggs or on an actual egg. I hope that you have a really wonderful Easter with your family, and I hope that you stay safe and healthy. See you next week.